Study the behavior of the very best real estate investors and real estate agents long enough, and you will discover a hidden success habit that these people display, which helps them beat the competition and produce extraordinary results consistently. Now, this isn't the kind of success trait you're going to read about in the typical 10 Success Secrets blog post or 7 Habits type book. Now, this is a lot more unspoken. But as you know, when you watch my training videos, I share with you things you don't hear elsewhere. Not regurgitated fluff. We're talking real world wisdom. And it's going to be the same here with this powerful trait that I'm going to share with you, this habit that the very best in the real estate business employ. Hi, I'm Phil Pustiowski with FreedomMentor.com. I'm a full-time real estate investor, real estate mentor, and coach to many of the most successful investors all across North America. I'm a best-selling author of 2 books. My first book, How to Be a Real Estate Investor, and then my newest one, Real Estate Investing Gone Bad. Both of these are mandatory reads if you want to be successful in real estate investing. Also, this is the #1 YouTube channel for real estate investing. Thank you for making that. I really appreciate those of you, especially the ones that watch every new video I put up and you make those comments below. I really appreciate that. So what is this hidden success habit that the very best in real estate employ? Focus on the process, not the results. Focus on the process, not the results. That may not make a whole lot of sense right this moment, but by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that means. And to explain this incredibly powerful concept, let's turn our attention to arguably the greatest college football coach in America. His teams have dominated in an extremely competitive sport at a time when there is more media attention, more money being thrown at the sport than ever before. And despite all of those different factors and the fact that the players come and go because they go from college to pro, despite all of that, this particular coach continually, consistently dominates. Who am I talking about? Nick Saban and the University of Alabama. Oh, and I can hear those Tide fans right now yelling, "Roll Tide." Now look, I went to Vanderbilt, so I am a Commodore fan. But regardless of where you went to college, or even if you're not a college football fan, you gotta respect how incredible Nick Saban has been as coach of the University of Alabama football team. There is a fascinating segment on 60 Minutes from a couple of years ago whereby 60 Minutes got 8 months rare look inside of not only the Alabama football program but also into Nick Saban's life. And I've got the link here at the top to go watch that entire interview. It's about 13 minutes long, and it's absolutely fascinating. It's revealing because in there it describes what makes Nick Saban's teams so much different from all the competitors. It's a radical approach that Coach Saban calls the process. Rather than focusing on the scoreboard and focusing on the wins and losses, he tells his players to ignore the scoreboard and focus on each individual play as if it's the last play on earth, played at the highest level of capacity, and the wins will take care of themselves. Now that's radical because so often in our society it's about the wins and losses. So to take your mind off of that and focus on the process, not the results, that is definitely a paradigm shift. So this is so ingrained into his players and his coaches and to his entire organization, especially Coach Saban, that this past weekend his team was leading by an enormous amount. Mathematically, the other team could not catch up. And with just a few minutes remaining, a mistake was made, and Coach Saban chewed out one of his assistant coaches. Absolutely livid. And it made news, and those of you that watch college football, because it was so startling that he had won by so much and was still so mad. And that is at the heart of this entire philosophy that he has, When you focus on the process, you're focused on those actions that you have complete control over. And especially in college football, when there's so many different variables that there's no control over, such as the other team, that if you focus just on what you have the capacity to be able to control, and you just put all of your energy into that, then the wins take care of themselves. Well, how does that apply to you as a real estate investor or real estate agent? Maybe you don't even watch college football. Well, it means it pertains a whole lot. Because focusing on the process and not the results is so helpful in real estate. Real estate is competitive, isn't it? Real estate, there's a lot of factors that you have no control over. And the other thing is, real estate, the deals don't close right away. They can take 30, 69 days to close. And then number 4, there are times when you don't even do that many deals. Sometimes you have deals going, sometimes you go through dry spells. And so all of those factors, they create this chemistry whereby if you focus on results in real estate, it can play tricks on your mind. Sometimes a good thing happens and it was partially luck. And what ends up happening is you get a big head. Maybe you take some time off and you, in the case of college football, you take some plays off. Whereas if something great happens and it's part of the process, then it's just one step. And it's as a result of that one step, you just go to the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and you go to the next deal, and the next deal. And so you're never focusing on that scoreboard or whether you're winning or losing. You're focused on just those aspects that you have complete control over. I mean, you will have so many situations in your real estate career whereby things are completely outside of your control. And so if you focus on what you have control over, that's the best you can do. Also, because it takes so long to get a deal closed, as well as the stretches of time between sometimes deals are closing, you can make conclusions on things that are incorrect. They're not actually what happened, but it's because you were focused on the results, and so you know, hey, things are going good right now. You know, I'm really rolling. Well, maybe you're not really rolling. Maybe you just got real lucky on a deal, or vice versa, and more likely, you're really down. You're really upset because you haven't achieved the results you want yet, and so you start thinking the whole thing doesn't work. See, that doesn't fit either. You got to focus on the process. Now, what's the process for you? That is the most highly productive actions that you can consistently employ with the time you have available to contribute to real estate. Those highly productive actions over and over and over again will eventually produce the great results. And again, I want to go back to this Nick Saban process concept and go back to the part of the video where I showed the link to go watch that 60 minutes interview with Nick Saban, because that will really color this entire topic, and a light bulb will go off. And when you study the very best real estate investors and agents, that's what they're doing. They're focusing on the process. They're focusing on what they have control over. And when a big deal occurs and they make good money, do they celebrate? Sure, they may go out to dinner and they might be happy. But they're already focused on what's that next action to continue to contribute to their success. And when things go bad, they don't get all upset. They stick to the process. They stick to getting things accomplished that they know eventually will produce those results. So you might be saying, well, Phil, that sounds wonderful, but how do I know what exactly the process needs to be? I mean, the Alabama players have Nick Saban tell them what to do. Well, yeah, they have a coach. And so obviously the very best real estate agents and investors out there have a mentor, have a coach helping them to hone their skills so they are being most productive. And so watching a lot of my videos, subscribing to this channel, that's going to help you get there. I have an apprentice program where I work with people, my team and I one-on-one, and we help them get this process down pat so that they're not focusing on the results, they're focusing on what actions need to be taken to produce those results, and the results come. Or as Nick Saban would say, the wins will come. When you play every play like it's your last play, you put it to the highest level that you have the capability of accomplishing. You never take a play off, and you stay focused. All right, you all. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it adds to what you're already trying to accomplish. This has made a big difference. I also want to point this out. I've got a great video on the fear of more money. And so I got a link to that right here. And in that video, I do a little singing for you. I get a little Puff Daddy going. Now, you'll like that part. And in that video, I talk about the idea that some people don't realize it, but they're actually scared of making more money. Well, this helps eliminate that fear because you're not focused on the scoreboard. You're not focused on that. You're focused on the process. And when you do that, the results come, and they just come and keep coming and keep coming, and you get more and more results, but you still are focused on the process, and that's why you can get more done. That's what the highest capacity people are doing out there. And so Nick Saban gives you an insider look at this concept, and the way 60 Minutes describes it and the way they show it in that video is absolutely fabulous for teaching anyone how to be more successful as a habit. And that's the key. I use the word habit in the title because that's what this is. This is a habit that you do over and over and over again. It becomes ingrained in the way you operate. So you're consistently focusing on the right, highly productive actions, and then the results, they follow. All right, you all, thanks so much for watching this video. If you have questions, comments, if you hate the Alabama Crimson Tide football team, I'm sure you'll have something to say in the comments below. If you're a huge Tide fan, well, congratulations. You are rooting for a winner. All right, you all, thanks again for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.